Hello, this is Wes Bridle, and this is another Kingdom Calling Economic Update video. This is the third out of 9 that I'm going to do here today, and just put them out one every day or so. This one is going to be about just what's going on in the world that's going to affect us economically. Some things are really heating up out there, and so I just want to go over some of the things I've noticed over the last couple months. All of these videos that I put out are follow-ups to the Coming Storm video, which we put out a year and a half ago, and it talks about big picture what's going on in the world. If you watch that video, you'll see that many of the things we talked about have come true in somewhat amazing fashion. These videos are really just to tell you what's going on right now, but to have better context, you really need to watch that big video. If you have any questions or anything, shoot me a line, and let me jump into it. Obviously, we talked about a year and a half ago, we said when Mubarak goes down in Egypt, there's going to be chaos throughout the Middle East, and we've seen that the Lord showed us that, and we've seen that happen. And so we've now got chaos in just about every Middle Eastern country, which is I don't know, 30. The big flashpoints, obviously, we've now invaded. We're attacking Libya. Syria's got much bigger problems, and of course they have a lot more terrorists. But they weren't messing with the money the way Libya was. Libya was talking about going to a gold standard. They were talking about they did not want to participate with Bank of International Settlements in Switzerland, with the U.S. Federal Reserve, kind of the whole banking cabal that exists out there. They wanted no part of that. And so even though after we invaded Iraq, Libya did exactly what we would want someone to do. They had weapons of mass destruction, nuclear weapons that we didn't even know about, and they came forward and said, hey, we've got these here, you can come check them out, you can have them back where you don't want them. They're a perfect friendly neighbor in that instance. They've certainly been bad many times before, but we went ahead and invaded them. Syria, on the other hand, is up to a lot more no good, but they weren't messing with the money, and so far we haven't messed with them. But they're having serious issues. They're cracking down on their own people. Their own people are having to leave the country. It's getting very serious over there, and similar things going on in Yemen right now. Many countries around there are having a lot of difficulty, and this affects the price of oil. This affects, obviously, mostly it just affects the lives of those people. But it's not going to end very easily. A lot of people have this idea that, oh, democracy is just going to blossom. Everything's going to be rosy in Egypt, for instance. It's not going to be. It's going to be a difficult time, and it is brought about for a purpose. It is for a good purpose, but that a lot of times we have to struggle through some things in order to get to the other side, and that's what's going on there. Geithner said the U.S. is open to Chinese proposals to a new global world currency run by the IMF. This is our Treasury Secretary. The U.S. dollar is a world reserve currency. Whether or not it should be or shouldn't be, it's a huge advantage that we have right now. It's the only reason we haven't totally imploded yet. And here he's saying, oh yeah, we're open to not having that position. That would be devastating. It will be devastating to our country when that happens. He was called out the next day after he made that comment. He started trying to take it back. But you see, he quickly tells you where his heart on the matter is, and then when he sees it's not politically acceptable, he takes it back. It's a scary thing with our leadership. World Bank president came out and said that the world is one shock away from crisis. He was discussing food prices and unemployment. So, I mean, he's telling the truth that we've been talking about for a long time. China's Sinopec, their large oil company, has stopped exporting oil from China. That's a big sign of coming energy problems. As currently what we're seeing is energy prices are dropping. They're probably going to keep dropping a little bit more. I think probably all asset prices everywhere, maybe not gold, but most every asset price is going to drop for a while. But in the long run, and I don't mean that long, oil prices are going to continue going higher just because world demand is such that there's just not near enough supply. Chinese economy is slowing, inflation is rising, their stock market is rolling over. They have big scandals that are coming out where their banks and their large corporations are cooking the books, and they've just been found out on these things. It could get really ugly. They had a massive bailout. It was half the size of TARP, and China is a third the size of the U.S. I think those numbers are right. I think Zero Hedge talked about that, which makes that just a huge bailout that they recently did. So they might be able to push the can down the road much further, but I don't think so. I think they're kind of stuck at this point. They've been, top down manipulating their economy for quite a while, and I don't think it can go any further. China is the prize engine of our economy, and so once they fall, that's certainly the end of the growth story, because there's other emerging market countries that are growing quite well, but none of them are near the size of China. And so if most of the world is struggling, falling, staying flat, and China's falling, well, that just kills the rest of the world. Energy shortages. There's been rationing of energy in China, Pakistan, Venezuela, Japan, Argentina, China. I was reading the article, it went much further than the list of countries, but I thought that'd be boring. It's a pretty serious thing. Again, we haven't felt this yet because of the position we've enjoyed, but that doesn't mean we're not going to feel it. Japan, which is the world's third biggest economy, they were recently passed up by China, is officially in recession. This is huge. When one of the biggest countries in the world is in recession, yes, it was caused in large part because of an earthquake, but be that as it may, they have some serious issues over there, which is really bad for the world economy. And let's see. Chinese interbank liquidity is drying up, so all of a sudden it's getting hard to get money from bank to bank in China. It's usually a sign that big problems are about to happen. That happened for us 3 years ago when we had our major problems. The interbank lending dried up quickly, and then it's just a sign that they see something bad is coming down the road, so again, there's a lot of big signs of stuff that's probably about to happen. Corporate and bank fraud amongst the big companies in China, I already mentioned that. Well, thank you, that's all I've got for this video. The next couple of videos I'm going to get into gold and silver, and then I'm going to work into things that the government's up to, deflation, inflation, hyperinflation, those sorts of things over the next several videos. Again, if you haven't watched the Coming Storm video, I really highly recommend it. It's important. There's a link to watch that video for free. And thank you, and God bless you.